That was broadcast on, podium on. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. All right, going to call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Graves.
Present.
Councilmember Saper.
Here.
Councilmember Tall.
Here.
Councilmember Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Fitzgerald.
Here.
Councilmember Roberts.
Here.
Councilmember Clark.
Present.
Councilmember Palumbi.
All right. The Pledge of Allegiance tonight will be led by Councilmember Graves. All right, thank you. Next up is the approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Can you remove item number 14 for discussion, please?
Yeah, sorry.
This isn't the consent, though.
Huh? Yeah, we'll remove number 14 for consent agenda.
Remove item 7, please.
7, we got 7, 14. Councilmember Saper.
Item 6, to correct that, to show that I was not here for that meeting, and nor did I vote on anything.
Okay. Dang, we got them voting on stuff too. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so I'm going to remove 6, 7, 14, anything further. All right, is there a motion to approve the amended agenda?
Move to approve the amended agenda.
Second.
All in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is comments from the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak this evening? Good evening.
Valerie Swearingen, 2408 Fayette. I just want to thank you guys for talking about the golf carts during the work session. I'm for it. I think it's a fun idea, but hearing all of the concerns and everything, I'm open to whatever you guys decide. My brother lives in Lenexa, so we've had lots of conversations about golf carts, and they run them wild, but I don't think they have flat ground like we have here. They don't have small streets. It's where they have the flexibility to go really fast down hills and wide turns and all that. And for me personally, I'm not even sure my family and I all agree on this topic, but I think it would be a fun way because I work from home full time. I get out of the house sometimes to go to Quick Trip just to get some air, and I'm not comfortable on a bike, so I like the option of having a golf cart as a way to not use my car or possibly even sell one of our cars to instead of being like a 2.5 car family, we might be a 1.5 car family because our garage is this big and it would only hold a golf cart anyway, so there's some pluses to that for me. I go to Quick Trip, CVS, and Save-A-Lot. I wouldn't cross Burlington. I wouldn't cross Armour. I wouldn't cross the highway, so I'm all like right in that residential part of it. And the only other thing too I would add, talking to my brother, they have add-on kits for headlights. So you can buy a cheap basic golf cart off Craigslist and then just buy a kit that has the headlights and the blinkers and all of that. So you don't have to spend $8,000. And my last point is, I agree, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of people using this option. It's not gonna be every house on every street's gonna wanna buy a golf cart or renovate an old one or something, but maybe there's a way to do like a test pilot where we only have 25 registration permits, or each registration permit would have $5 go towards, Kim and I would agree on, an arts project for the city, or, something cool just to tie it in to make it interesting, and another mode of transportation that's not just walking or bikes. It's kind of like the in-between a bike and a giant SUV type of thing, so. That's just my 2 cents worth. Again, thanks for talking about it all. And I am one of the people that ask Wes when we're going to have golf cart conversations. So thanks for bringing it up.
Thank you. Further public comments? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the amended consent agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? No. Motion carries. Item number 6, which I believe you've already got out. Is that good? Are we good there? Okay, we will move on from number 6 now.
Do we need to
On.
approve them now? You have to approve the amended minutes?
Oh, you do have to approve the amended minutes now, right? Or do you want to bring them back?
Oh.
You want to bring them back, or do we approve them
Let's
as
make
amended?
Do we have another motion? Because Mike was not at the meeting either, and he's listed in the minutes as at the meeting too.
So do you have all that, and can we approve them as amended here on the fly? I know Tom would probably prefer we just bring it back, but You want us to bring it back or approve?
It's up to you. You can approve as amended, or we can bring it back.
I'd rather approve as amended.
Anybody
If that is
else
fine with.
that wasn't
Do we
here
have- did
that's
we
on
catch
the?
everything?
I don't know. I didn't.
Just
I
bring
didn't
them
type
back.
them, and I did not proofread them, so I don't know. I'll proofread them.
It's up to council, whatever
It's up to you
motion we
guys.
get here, just,
Just put it on the next agenda. Bring them back. Make sure they're good.
I'm fine with that. That's fine.
all right, is there a second on
What are we tabling the minutes?
tabling the minutes until next meeting?
Move to table the minutes until next meeting.
Here we go.
Second?
All in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. There we go. Thank you. Next item, I believe I circled number 7 here. Appointment of Kyle Miles, Jenny Wise, and John Erpelding to the Tax Increment Financing Commission.
That was me.
Oh, there we go.
I just had a couple questions that I got from people in the public that I didn't have an answer for. So I just told them, hey, I'll just pull it off the agenda and ask publicly. First of all, I checked on our website, the commissions, like it says like current people on the boards. And I couldn't remember, and this is my fault, I got a bad memory. TIF commission, is this the commission that it kind of overlaps with another commission?
Yeah,
So it's usually the
industrial-
same people?
Yeah, Industrial Development Authority.
Industrial
Yeah, the IDA.
development,
Yep.
same kind of people?
Yeah.
And then the other question I had was John Erpelding, who's an awesome person. You know, I like the guy, great guy, overqualified, blah, blah, blah. Somebody asked me, well, he works for an engineering firm that does work for developers. Is that a conflict of interest for him to be on the TIF commission? I said, I don't know. Let me ask. So, do you
If-
know anything?
If a project came out specifically that they've worked on, then yeah, that would be a conflict of interest, and he'd have to recuse himself then.
So is that I mean, I'm just thinking out loud, is that a good idea to put an engineer that works for developers on the TIF commission? And granted, like, John's great. I love John. He's a great guy, overqualified. I wish he was actually here so I could ask him.
It certainly gives, puts someone on the TIF commission with knowledge of what's happening in the developments, I would think, because that's within their profession.
Okay.
I believe so, yeah.
I just said I would
No,
ask.
specific to that, though, yeah, he would definitely have to recuse himself if anything came up, but I do think this gives him some additional qualifications because he understands the sort of stuff
It-
that they approve.
But if he is working on a project that he has interest in, then he would recuse himself. So I'm in favor of, I move to approve the appointment of Kyle Miles, Jenny Wise, and John Erpelding to the TIF commission.
Second?
Are there council member comments?
I was just going to reiterate, like, people on the Parks Board, they also were, like, say, bidding on River Forest Park project. They just recuse themselves when they go through that process. I was just going to kind of back that up. That happens. There's some crossover that happens on organizations, so.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion, second, all in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed, no, motion carries. Item number 14, approval of purchase of police cars, and that was Councilmember Toll.
I'm just going to repeat some of the stuff that we had talked about. So when I clicked on the link to open this item up, this particular vehicle comes, or at least states on their site, comes hybrid standard. So I assumed that those 3 vehicles were hybrid, but Chief Freeman informed me they are not hybrid, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And so we had discussed, I believe he said that you have one hybrid vehicle that's currently in use, and you haven't seen a cost savings in gas? Am
Not
I
a-
saying that
Not a
correctly?
significant cost savings in gas. So I just checked while we were getting through some of the other items on the agenda, and it's 6 miles per gallon better than the full gas combustion engine for the hybrid. But like as we talked about, that's not a fully weighted down version of a police vehicle yet either. So we don't know what that cost savings will be actually comparing an apple to an apple. The cost of the police cars went up significantly this year, as everything else has. As you see by the memo, we've already had to scrap, probably going to have to scrap one of our planned purchases because of the cost increase to keep from going over the budget allotment that we asked for. So that cost is for a combustion engine, not the hybrid. We would add additional like $3,300, something like that, per car to make it hybrid. And we just haven't yet seen the benefit of switching to a hybrid fleet yet.
Okay, so for the 3 vehicles, it'd be about $10,000 is what you're saying? Okay. And then the vehicle that's not being purchased is the police truck. And I have actually had people in the neighborhood ask, why do we have a truck patrolling? Because that would be the opposite as far as gas mileage goes. So what is the benefit of having a truck as a patrol vehicle?
The truck actually gets a little bit better gas mileage than the Explorers do.
SUVs?
Yeah. The equipment, just sheer equipment, volume, space of stuff that we carry and that we ask, that is our field supervisor vehicle, so the sergeant. We ask them to carry in addition to what all the other patrol cars are carrying. Included in that is a ballistic shield. It is a bite sleeve for the canine, so if something were to happen to the canine officer and we had to get one of our canines back under control, we use the bite sleeve to get that canine back under control, because they don't listen to us, they listen to their handlers. So there's 2 or 3 other really big items that we ask that sergeant to carry that we don't ask the patrol vehicles to carry, which are already overmaxed in capacity. So a little bit higher profile. As you know, our streets flood every now and again, so it can get around a little bit more in those situations also. So we've had discussions about potentially maybe transitioning to an entire truck fleet, but we're not there yet either.
Okay, so I just personally would like to dig into it a little more, because I'm surprised that there isn't a big difference between the two, especially if the SUV doesn't have all of the weight added to it that your other vehicles do. And just to find out, I know that is that your best guess, the difference, or is that something we need to look up?
I checked with Major Smith, who keeps track of those stats for us
Uh-huh.
while we were starting the meeting, and that's what he responded back to me. That his last analysis on that was 6 MPG better.
And do you know
please
what the
keep in-
actual number is?
No, I do not. Please keep in mind that vehicle market is a disaster right now, and especially the fleet vehicle market. That's why we can't get the truck this year. If we push this on hold, we're going to miss the window to buy any cars this year. I think Chief Harris can speak to that too, of what some of the problems that he's had with some of the administrative vehicles that he's pushed through. I understand your concern and what you're trying to accomplish, but we're on a very tight window to get these cars ordered so we can have them even delivered in the next fiscal year. We're still waiting on an animal control vehicle that we ordered last year.
I certainly don't want to hold up the process, but I also don't want to drop this. It's something I'd like to look into. Go ahead and order the vehicles, but look into it, because it is part of our strategic plan. And if this isn't helpful, if we found out, well, you know what, we tried it and that really isn't helping, then we can look at what's something else that we could do.
Do you have the raw numbers on the mileage savings? So we're talking like 28 to 22, or are we talking 16 to 10?
It's probably, this is a guess.
Sure.
It's probably, we're right around 15 to 16 normal, so we're probably getting 20 to 21 with the hybrid.
Okay. So that's 25% roughly. I'm not great with numbers there.
Way better than I am.
So I'm understanding the window. I know we need to look at time is of the essence here. If we were to tonight decide go hybrid, would we be able to put that order in and get them at the same time we would get the full combustion engines? Or is there like a different line for hybrids?
I don't have an answer to that, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Can we do a sort of like a conditional? Because I mean, I agree. I think not only is it dollars and cents, but it's also better for the environment, that if we are able to order the hybrids and get them at the same time as the combustion engine, we're not like holding anything up. I would do some sort of approval where if we can order the hybrids, do that. If not, order the regular ones if they come in at the same time.
And so you have one hybrid vehicle now? Just one, or?
Yes, sir, just one.
Okay, are you experiencing any other problems with that
Not so far.
vehicle? Okay.
So we had talked about the full electric being a concern, whether they would be charged or something like that, but with the hybrid, not a operational liability.
No.
Was that just head nodding, or is there a comment?
I can understand the pushback against all electric at this point in time, just because the longevity and having to plug it in for like 12 hours and then, yeah. But I would be in agreement that we should look at the hybrid option, and if that could be ordered, I think that's still worthwhile. You know, in one experiment of getting maybe 6 miles better, I mean, you could always get even better, especially if you join a hybrid group online like I am, and real nerdy, to try to get better and better each time. But I don't know. I would explore the hybrid option as well, just because it was a part of our big plan.
So how
Just-
could we?
Just to be clear, that is on a lower profile police vehicle. So it doesn't have a lot of the equipment installed into it that our regular police vehicles have. So we don't have a true apple-to-apple comparison on how the hybrid's going to perform with the light bar, with the push bumper, with the equipment box in the back and some of the extra added weight there. So we don't have that true apple-to-apple yet. So that 6 miles per gallon is a stripped-down version. It has a radio in it, it has some lights in it, it has a person in it, but that's about it.
It would be a great opportunity then to have at least one of those 3 vehicles be hybrid, and you could compare apples to apples.
We can do that now. We can take the car we're using now and add all that equipment to it from one of our current cars, and that's what we intend to do, to take that test one step further than what we've been doing now. We've got a year on that hybrid now, and the suggestion that's come to us is like, let's compare that, let's put that light bar on it, let's put that push bar on it, let's load it down and let's see how it really performs.
But if
All
we
the-
use one of the new ones, then it would come from the same fleet. We would have 2 hybrid vehicles. And is there a downside to having hybrid other than you don't think it saves enough money?
Yeah, I don't have a downside to it. If the council wants to spend the extra $10,000, we'll call forward tomorrow and say, we'd like to change our order if we can. We're just trying to be a little bit fiscally responsible because we still have a 4th vehicle that we were going to try to squeeze into this. We don't think we can based on the price and how that has changed this year, but that was what we were trying to accomplish. Save as much money with these 3 vehicles as we can so we can get the 4th vehicle that we had asked for in the budget.
Okay. Councilmember Graves.
Yeah, the downside to ordering all hybrid is it hasn't been tested. So if I'm shot, I don't want a hybrid test vehicle on its way to see if it works or not. So I would say that we should go ahead and buy these 3 vehicles and, as you mentioned, transition the hybrid vehicle and test it out, see how it works, and go from there.
All right, further councilmember comments. Councilmember Roberts.
Are we the first police department in the history to use hybrid vehicles as their police vehicles?
No.
So that's not going to happen, is what I'm asking.
Well-
You're not going to be in danger because it's a hybrid vehicle.
I would say the answer to your question is we were this program we bought one of the first ones that were rolled out. Now we've got a year of service on it. So if it's going to not drive when we want it to drive, we hopefully would have known that by now.
What kind of vehicles are they again?
They're Ford Explorers, basically.
If we are asking you to buy something a little bit more expensive, then we could do a budget amendment as well, I would think, to support you in getting the 4th vehicle still. I would hope. Council would not be opposed to that. Councilmember Smith.
So if my math is right here, 126,420, that's 42,000 some change per vehicle. We've approved 45,000 per vehicle. So we're right in that realm.
That dollar figure includes the money that it takes to change these vehicles over, and then the secondary changeovers when we trade them down the line. So we're about $2,500 per vehicle to build a new vehicle out with all the lights. And that's not having to buy anything new. That's just using the current equipment that we have. And then we take that vehicle, we transition to an admin vehicle, which is another build out. So there's money in that line also for those build outs. It's not just strictly car costs.
So for 2,500 for build out on top of the quota price plus 3,300, that's 191,720. It's $11,000 more. I mean, I would be okay with spending the extra money if it gets us 4 fully equipped hybrid vehicles. But that's up to council to decide. And caveat, if it doesn't hold it up, that would be the only thing. If it holds it up for any substantial time, not worth going for it on this round. So that would be my sort of conditional approval.
Is that a motion? Are you going to form that in the
Oof,
motion here? Let's see this.
Yeah, I would move to approve the purchase with the caveat that if hybrids are available and do not, sorry, Mallory, this is wordy, and do not reduce or do not extend the timeline by, give me a number, 3 months,
Extensively.
6 months? I mean, I have no idea what vehicle purchasing timeframes look like.
It's not a time frame right now, it's a can or can't.
Okay.
These windows are so short, it used to be you had several months to order your next model year vehicle.
Gotcha.
Now you have several weeks.
Okay.
And sometimes it's just days.
So it's a go or no-go?
Yes.
Okay, so if we call Ford tomorrow and they say can't do it, then we order the combustion ones. I don't know how to word this correctly, but it sounds like we understand what we're talking about. Is that a good enough?
There's a motion to, so recommend, I guess,
Yeah.
hybrid vehicles if possible.
Yeah.
So if not, then you still have approval to get the other ones as.
And can we just add the fourth now? Like, why not just add the fourth?
Oh, a budget amendment for the fourth.
Because we've got it in
Well,
for
well, you're not
180.
ordering it now, though. You're not trying to order the fourth now.
Right.
Or would you be interested in ordering the fourth
The
now?
fourth one was going to be the pickup truck.
Gotcha.
And that window is closed.
Closed.
That window doesn't open again until September of next year.
So that'll be.
So we won't know how much the truck is going to cost until then.
Okay, so that's one we can clean up then
Okay.
if council wants to
Correct.
continue to pursue that and then budget amend that later. Okay, we can do that later. So let's stick with the motion to recommend that the purchase be hybrid vehicles, and if that is not possible, or
Then-
we'll extend the time, then we will get internal combustion engine
Yep.
vehicles. There we go. That the motion?
That's the motion.
Is there a
Let's do it.
second?
I second.
So does
Further-
the city council, should you, and sorry to cut you off here, I think our staff's intent would be we would carry out your direction with the understanding that should we be able to buy those hybrid vehicles, we would come forward with a budget amendment at the very next meeting.
Well, it's still within the budget, right? We got 180,000. We wouldn't need the budget until we try to buy the fourth vehicle, right?
Correct. But we would need to do a budget amendment with that line item because as the chief has said, they need to be outfitted.
But you could go ahead and purchase now.
Correct. There's
Yeah, 'cause
enough budgeted capacity in
budget's
that
already
line
there.
item to order them. However, we would need to bring forward another budget amendment to complete, once those trucks come in, they need to be outfitted.
Fantastic. Oh, sorry, chief.
Just to be clear, there's enough money in this line to support 3 vehicles and all of the transitions. There's just not enough to support the fourth vehicle.
And when
Yep.
that comes up, we'll
Even-
amend.
Yeah, with taking the fourth vehicle off, there's still funding that would support a hybrid version also.
Yeah, so the only decision is whether Ford can do
All right.
it.
Correct.
So the motion is to try to get a hybrid first, and if not, internal combustion engine. There's a motion and a second. Is there further council member comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed, no.
No for combustion, I guess.
Motion carries. Item number 16, not 6, right? Or is there another one? Is that it? Are we done? Okay, there we go. Number 16, NOSIX Chapter 100 Funding Agreement, Resolution Number 22082. And I never wrote down who's handling this, so is this Michael, Kim, Tom, Anthony, Shu, somebody, anybody? Anybody with the PowerPoint?
16,
Matt,
Notix,
is it Matt Webster?
Chapter 100.
Sorry,
Somebody
that one's
said-
me.
Okay, thank you.
22.
Yeah, I've already called it out loud, so now we're just good to go. Time for presentation.
It's NOSIX. Sorry.
New item to the agenda.
Good evening. I do believe we are on agenda item number 16.
That is correct.
Correct?
Yes,
Okay.
22082, yes.
Sorry, we weren't following along just then. So that will be my agenda item. I will introduce the topic, and then I will be bringing forward Brooks Brown and Spencer Thompson. They will give a quick presentation on this request. So the city has received an application from NOSIX for an economic development incentive authorized by Chapter 100 of the Missouri State Statutes. NOSIX is the largest data center provided in the Kansas City area, and they happen to be located here in North Kansas City. They provide reliable, low-cost virtual servers and dedicated servers. The city does contract with them to operate, maintain, enhance, and improve Link City, the city-owned fiber network. Although we do have that contract with them, this Chapter 100 incentive request is not related to the city's network or contract for services. They are seeking Chapter 100 incentive to fund part of the cost of the redeveloping their building at 1530 Swift into a data center space. The applicant proposes the redevelopment of the property as a data center capable of handling the most secure and sensitive data of government agencies and private industry at a very high level, and this requires extremely sophisticated systems along with other equipment. In order to facilitate this development, they are seeking an incentive under Chapter 100. Specifically, they are seeking real estate tax abatement of 75% for 10 years and 37.5% for 5 years, as well as sales tax exemption on construction materials used within this project. As I kind of had stated, they will be giving a presentation. I do want to remind the council that this funding agreement, and that's what actually the item on your agenda is, does not obligate the city whatsoever to approve the actual Chapter 100. What this does is it approves a funding mechanism for the city to receive down payment to be able to do the sophisticated style of financial analysis as well as legal analysis to bring forward back to the city council for your further consideration. I would like to also mention that Matt Webster, the city's financial advisor, is also in the audience should the city council have any questions. And with that, I would like to call forward Brooks Brown and Spencer Thomas.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Spencer Thompson. I am an attorney with Thompson LLC, representing the applicant. My office is located at 4700 Bellevue Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri, Suite 404. To my immediate left is somebody I'm sure most of you are familiar with, Mr. Brooks Brown with the company. So we'll give a brief presentation and be available to answer any questions. The first slide shows the project team that's been assembled for this particular project. Brooks and his partner's company, Knockix LLC, would be the owner-developer. They've hired Warman Architects, the tier certification engineer, which handles some of the technology that people like you and I probably don't understand nearly as well as Brooks and his folks. It's Teleo Sync. Funding, private funding for the financing of this will be provided by Central Bank. I've indicated my firm is legal counsel, and of course, you are the city of North Kansas City. A little bit of history on the folks behind the application in Knockix. They wholesale internet provider formed in 9999. What's that? 9999. Okay, lots of nines there. They started operating in the city in 2009, and they moved all of their operations to the city in 2012. Merged with Data Shack in 2014 to form the current company, and as Kim said, they're the largest data center provider in the Kansas City area. Last year, total property taxes on the real estate owned by the company were just over or just under $64,000. Just to give you some idea of involvement in the community, the business is a member of the North Kansas City Business Council. Brooks has a board seat on the Business Council board. And the company does provide bandwidth for the North Kansas City School District free of charge for its internet. So operational challenges that are presented by the project from a business operations standpoint relate to the ever-expanding demand for data center space, especially the type of space that we're contemplating here and in markets like Kansas City, which are referred to as a Tier 3 market. We currently have approximately 100 businesses or over 100 businesses on their waiting list for space of this type. So we have high expectations for the ability to be able to secure tenants and users for the space that we're planning over an approximate 10-year build-out period for the actual interior data space. And then content providers are pushing into smaller markets and need space to grow. The site itself presents a number of challenges. The building is 151,000 square feet, and it's 80-some-odd years old. It's very outdated and obsolete in many number of ways, including a lack of parking, which limits the potential adaptive reuses to which you can put the building. That makes our use ideal because we don't require, frankly, a lot of parking for the business. It requires a lot of machines, requires a lot of electricity, it requires redundancy and other things, but it doesn't, fortunately, require a lot of parking, which the site does not have. There's going to be a lot of window replacement. There is some asbestos in the building that'll have to be remediated. The electrical, mechanical, HVAC systems are needing updating. There's structural components that'll be addressed and brought up to modern specs. And there's a substantial 73,000 square feet approximately of roof to be replaced. So the building itself, which if any of you are familiar with it or have seen it lately, is obviously not up to modern standards. One of the benefits of this project will be to upgrade the exterior facade of the building and put it into a much more attractive state from a streetscape standpoint. So again, it's about 146,000 of Tier 3 and Tier 4 data center space that would be developed. About 8,000 square feet of Class A office would be included, in 32,000 square feet exterior remodel. There will be about 5 new jobs created by this expansion that will average around $90,000 to $95,000 a year in salary. At the end of year 1, which is when we've been make initial investment of about $12 million, the total investment anticipated for the full 10-year build-out of the project with all of this equipment is north of $125 million. But the first year, we would spend about 10% of that. The bulk of that first-year expenditure would be on physical improvements to the building that I mentioned previously. At the conclusion of that one-year period, we would be the only tier-certified data center space in the entire state of Missouri, be located here in North Kansas City. Only the second Tier 4 certified co-location facility in the United States, and with the combined buildings, we'd be the single largest building network density in North America. The next slide gives you a rendering from our architect of what the exterior street level is anticipated to look like at the completion of that first year of build-out. And so project benefits again, and I can wrap up with incentive request here. The project benefits are to repurpose a very large, outdated, obsolete building with a new state-of-the-art facility. It will enhance the North Kansas City broadband and the North Kansas City school network by bringing more content providers closer to the community, to the residents and the businesses. It'll increase customers coming to town who will service the co-located equipment, which we would expect to stay in local hotels and eat at local restaurants. It will dramatically enhance the aesthetics of 16th Avenue as is desired in the city's strategic plan. It will elevate the city of North Kansas City's reputation as one of the most technologically advanced cities in the world and add an appealing aesthetic to the new streetcar expansion, which we believe this development would be completely in harmony and concert with. Since there's been discussion about streetcar coming up Swift, we want the council to understand that we think this would work harmoniously with those plans should those come to fruition. The request for the abatement is pretty modest, to be quite honest, by standards that I've seen. It's a 15-year property tax abatement at a 75% rate for the first 10 years, and then that would be cut in half for the next 5. It would be 37.5% in years 11 through 15. We would seek 100% sales tax exemption on the purchase of the construction materials, most of which we presume would be purchased in other taxing jurisdictions. So that's not really money that would be coming so much out of the city of North Kansas City's coffers. And then make clear that it only applies to the expansion facility at 1530 Swift. We're not asking for any abatements or incentives in relation to the existing facility. So tonight, as Kim indicated, we're simply asking the council to authorize the funding agreement so that we can continue forward with the analysis and the legal structuring and financial studies in order to bring this back in front of the council for its final consideration. So we're happy to answer any questions if I've missed anything. Otherwise, we would just stand ready to move forward.
There we go. Questions? Councilmember Smith.
So making sure I'm understanding this correctly, first off, building looks pretty cool. That's nice. And obviously, we love what you do with Link City and KC Fiber, so we appreciate that very much. If my numbers are right, we're looking at total abatement value of $600,000 to $700,000. Is that right? Over the course of 15 years.
No, actually, it would be.
I mean, I'm sorry, before the sales tax, it's property tax value of it, 700,000.
We've done some initial analysis, and we've actually estimated over the 15-year requested abatement period, it would be about 1.8 million in tax benefit.
So okay, and are you factoring in the, increased value of the property?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Very good.
You were probably looking at existing
At
values.
the 64
Yes.
times with a little bit of value
Correct.
on top? Yep,
Yeah.
okay. That was my follow-up question. Do we have any idea what we're looking at for assessed value at the end of the period?
Yeah, well, we've projected the stabilized taxes on the expansion, if there were no abatement, to be just under 200,000 a year. Currently, they were about 47,000. So they would roughly go up 4 times is our estimate.
Okay.
You have to understand a lot of the investment, just to be clear, that's made in this project isn't in real estate per se. The initial investment is in year one. The real investment comes in the equipment and the technology that comes in over a period of years as we fill up the facility.
Absolutely. That stuff is not cheap.
No.
Okay, yeah, I would be certainly interested in moving forward with the study, have Matt get under the hood and see what we find out. Move to approve?
Is there a second to the motion?
Uh,
No, sorry, just gonna see. Since he made a motion, see if we get a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Further council member comments, council member Safer.
Yes, while I've got you here, I realize that this has nothing to do with Link City directly, but there is a connection, you. I understand the charges for connecting residents to our Link City service involves actually running cable and all, and setting up in-house. But then again, if someone moves and a new resident comes in, the equipment's already in place, but they're still charged the same fee as if there was nothing there. And to me, that seems like almost a nuisance fee.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
kind of a
Since he's
separate
here.
topic.
You're killing me here. We're out of scope here. That's a little out of scope, I think, for this. Can we do another follow-up on that? I mean, that is kind of go outside that question, Andy.
I would like an answer.
And I'd be happy to,
Or maybe you two even touch
after
base.
something.
We'll touch
We should be
base
pretty
after.
quick right after this.
Yeah. that'd be
There we
good.
go. I just don't want to go too far off topic. Sorry, not to kill your question there, council member. Okay, is there further council member discussion, comments, questions, anything? All right, then we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 17, Blue Cross Blue Shield 2023 Benefits Renewal, Bill Number 7714, Ordinance Number 9511.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I know you all have read the 100 pages that were attached to the agenda. This is our insurance for our employees for fiscal year 20, or for the calendar year 2023. There is an increase to the premiums, 11.8%. We will be passing that along. Those increases are partly due to the book of business and an increased percentage because we are adding fertility coverage to our plan for next year. I do have Jess Perez here from Lockton. If we've got any more technical questions, she'd be happy to answer them, or I can answer them. You're welcome.
Myself off there. Thank you. Any council member comments? Is there a motion for first reading?
First reading.
Second.
All in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Now listen to this.
An ordinance adopting and approving confirmation of coverage renewal and addendum to group contract maximum refund account, together with the benefit and rate confirmation for the city's A, Preferred Care Blue PPO plan, B, Personal Blue PPO plan, C, Blue Saver PPO plan, D, Blue Select Plus Personal Blue HRA plan, and E, Blue Select Plus PPO. And further, adopting and approving the COBRA rate confirmation and the elective pregnancy termination indemnity agreement, all effective January 1st, 2023, with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City regarding medical insurance benefits for the employees of the city of North Kansas City, Missouri.
That was a heck of a title. Thank you.
I'm glad I get the easy part. I move that bill number 7714 be placed on second and final reading and pass as ordinance number 9511.
Could you read that one more time?
Yeah.
Second.
Oh, she gets to, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Graves.
Yes.
Councilmember Saper.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts.
Yes.
Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
An ordinance adopting and approving confirmation of coverage renewal and addendum to group contract maximum refund account, together with the benefit and rate confirmation for the city's A, Preferred Care Blue PPO plan, B, Personal Blue PPO plan, C, Blue Saver PPO plan, D, Blue Select Plus Personal Blue HRA plan, and E, Blue Select Plus PPO. And further, adopting and approving the COBRA rate confirmation and the elective pregnancy termination indemnity agreement, all effective January 1st, 2023, with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City regarding medical insurance benefits for the employees of the city of North Kansas City, Missouri.
How many weeks you spend writing that title? Thank you, much appreciated. You did a fantastic job reading that. Next item, staff comments. Are there any staff comments?
No, wait. Approve, gotta pay the bills.
Oh, dang. I told you, I had a couple I didn't know.
Item 18, approving accounts due and payable by the city through October 14th, 2022. Bill
First-
number 7715, ordinance number 9512.
First reading.
Second.
All in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries.
An ordinance authorizing payment for certain accounts due and payable by the city through October 14th, 2022.
I move that bill number 7715 be placed on second and final reading and pass as ordinance number 9512.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Graves.
Yes.
Councilmember Saper.
Yes.
Councilmember Toll.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts.
Yes.
Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Nope. An ordinance authorizing payment for certain accounts due and payable by the city through October 14th, 2022.
Better check those minutes next meeting. Thank you. We'll make that title shorter next meeting, or longer. Staff comments. Now I'm there.
In the packet tonight, upcoming city items of note and other reports that were included. Additionally, Chief Freeman and Director Sands have some comments. So I'm going to pass it over to them.
Just a quick comment. So the Armor Road project is moving right along. The old surface was milled off this week, and we are going to be overlaying this week as well, starting Thursday at 6 a.m. and continuing through Friday and Saturday.
All right. Further, staff comments. Oh, Chief, yes. He was looking there.
Thank you. You may or may not have noticed this year, we did not publish an annual report. What we have been working on for the better part of this year, and I say we lightly because I'm not the technical wizard behind any of this stuff, is more of what we call a transparency portal. Something that's come out of some of the community meetings that we've had over the last 2 years is better data quicker, more than anything. The first thing that we did last year was the community crime map, and this is kind of just a little bit another step beyond that. Some of the things that are listed here in the portal will be updated quarterly. Some of them will be updated monthly, but it's our way to try to get more real-time data to the residents and businesses of North Kansas City, so they can see where you can see our animal control stats, investigation stats, patrol stats, stuff like that you would typically always see in our annual report is in this portal now. Happy to take any feedback on anything that would like to be added to it. If we can, we'll make that happen. But that's just want to give you an idea that that's up, it's running, it's operational, and not only to let city council members know, but the community know that it's there. So thank you.
Perfect. Browsing through that quickly, it's looking good. Thank you. Further, staff comments. Nope. All right. Councilmember comments, starting with Councilmember Graves.
I'm going to bust a little past, present, and future on you guys. Past, couple weekends ago. I had a great time at the Faith in Blue event. Our police department does a fantastic job with community outreach, and I try to make it to all their events. And if you ever have a chance to go to one of the outreach programs put on by the police department, I would encourage you to do so. In relation to that, the animal control people were there and had a really cute puppy and a couple kittens with them. If you're looking to adopt a pet, you can adopt a pet right here in North Kansas City. They have their own page on petfinder.com. As far as the present is concerned, I was walking to get something to eat the other day, and I noticed that the downtown beautification project is coming right along. As you know, we spent a great fortune doing that. I was told that what's being done should last, possibly 30-year life cycle on that. And I was kind of disappointed in between right where our town square is and when you're shooting across Swift toward El Canelo to drink a margarita, there are huge cracks in the brand new concrete. There's pads that, are literally weeks old that are cracked in half and honestly look like crap. And we just spent millions of dollars on concrete. And so I want to publicly ask I think the city, we need to go back to the contractor that did the concrete. They need to redo everything that's cracked because they're either doing a poor job pouring or they're using poor concrete. And people in the city, I can't see every patch of concrete. If you see something like this on the downtown streetscape project that is in poor condition or that they did use poor workmanship, please report it to me, and I will make sure that's taken care of. Then the Ghost of West's Future coming up is Halloween, which is one of my favorite events here in North Kansas City. If you're a new resident, you might not be aware that this is probably the best town in the metro for Halloween. In most parts of Northtown, the houses are fairly close together. And there are lots of children, even from other areas, that come here to trick or treat because it's such a great area to trick or treat. So I encourage everyone to participate, even if you're not like me and you don't dress up for Halloween. Buy some bags of candy, and it's a great time to sit out and I like looking at all the kids' costumes when they come by. I have kids, and it's honestly more fun passing out candy than it is trick or treating because you get to see all the kids' costumes. So I encourage everyone to participate in Halloween and make it a great event for the kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Saper.
While I did try to sneak in comments about the Link City fees, I think it's something we need to look at. Once the equipment is installed in a residence or apartment, that's justifiable. But subsequent residents of those facilities are, when they try to connect, they're charged the same fee. And it seems to be a bit of a nuisance fee, and I would like that explained and discussed in the future.
Thank you. Councilmember Tull.
I think we had a good discussion in our discussion session, and I would just tell people in my ward, because I did talk to several people, but obviously not everybody, if you do have a strong opinion, which I have not encountered yet, on the golf carts, I would encourage you to reach out.
Thank you. Councilmember Smith.
Ditto that. Also, about an hour and a half before our work session, I just wanted to bring this up for visibility. Somebody walked into my garage and stole some things out of our vehicles. Somebody took the diaper bag out of my wife's car and some stuff out of my truck. They were able to do that because we left our garage door up for about 5 minutes after walking in the house. So if you have a garage, close it when you get home. And watch out for your neighbors. If you see anything sketchy, give the police officers a call. They were at my house in just a couple minutes, and they went around looking. So I very much appreciate that. But be aware that there are some things going on around town. That's all from me.
Thank you. Councilmember Fitzgerald.
That's concerning to hear about the garage, but I have no further comments beyond what was already mentioned over there.
Councilmember Roberts.
I want to say thank you to Chief Friedman. It feels like today was your day here. We asked you a lot of questions, and you had a lot of answers. So thank you for coming incredibly prepared for tonight. Today, on my morning walk, I saw the lovely leaf vacuum going around getting those leaves. But I also saw a bag of leaves with a lot of trash in it. So make sure you don't put trash in those leaf bags because it's going to be turned into something. No one knows. Mulch, dirt. Anthony's making a face like nobody knows where the leaves go. But it was great to see the vacuum out. And to go on to Councilmember Graves, you need to buy so much candy in this neighborhood. It is ridiculous, actually. No matter how much I buy, never enough. It is, if you're new, just buy 3 or 4 times what you think. And worst case scenario, you're going to have like half a bag maybe for yourself.
Thank you. Councilmember Clark.
Just a reminder of trunk or treat with the Parks Board, Parks Department, trunk or treat on the 28th. Yes, because then we also have Seminole Drive has our little parade. There's just a lot of Halloween action, and I'm super stoked to be the Addams family this year. It's like my dream come true. That's it for me.
Fantastic. With that, I have nothing. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed, no. We are adjourned.